arm are still out there waiting. And the ones that get convicted now, coming out to do 30 and 40 years. Now, when you do 30 or 40 years, you come home, what you coming to do?
Look, you have dark, and good and have evil.
Because it's a different generation, it's a different kind of stereotype generation.
I saw a lot of things at, I would say, trauma.
In the heat of the moment, the adrenaline, I had so much things, I had so much to lose at that time.
Time to change, man. Time to turn around. Time to turn around.
Let's just start with my early years. My early years as a young man, I watched a lot of things happening, and I watched the transformation of a lot of men too. I watched men that there was good in the ways and still it was bad in the ways too. And these are things that I used to always watch as a young man. Now, growing up, I was from a poor community, so everything around me was always like poor, you know. We do a lot of stuff. We do like eating and everything, like roasting breadfruits, you know, picking mangoes, all those things, and a lot of those things people used to be vexed because, you know, we didn't have no trees, so we used to go border on people's trees, and that's when I start to see a real aggressive side of people that could pretend that they're real nice. You know what I mean? The things they would do for just a fruit for a young man to eat. But then coming up, then I went to Allen School, and the experience was good, and still it was bad because, you know, I had to left St. Michael to go to them areas. In my times, there was hardly any buses. Times we had to walk home. Times we get home at 8 o'clock and all sorts of things. So when I get home at 8 o'clock and I eat, I can't even do my homework, I'll go and sleep for the next day, right? But my mother was a domestic, which means she was very poor, and there was hardly anything there. In them times, we used to have to pay bus fare, you know, and sometimes my mom couldn't even afford bus fare at them times, you know, and going to school was always a problem for me. So my sister migrated to America early, and she in turn invited my mother to come and live. So, you know, my mother took the opportunity to try to help us, and it was just my brother, my two brothers that just a couple of years older than me. So, you know, it was very hard for them to try to keep me in control. So I ended up start going to school, start smoking cigarettes. You know, a lot of my men used to dive in the wharf. There with the Jolly Roger, I start doing them kind of things. Start going for the morning. When I dive and catch the minivan and run and go down Sandy Lane and drive up there again and come back up. You know, got a 12:30, got all the movies, you know, getting into little clashes along the way with other guys and thing, and it come along like that, you know, and then after the atmosphere started to change, where we start smoking weed and getting involved in these kind of things, you know, and selling little weed and thing, and that's where the process and everything start from there, right? So as the years pass and I start to become a man now, I had to leave all my childish things behind and decide which way that I can go. But by that time, I already had a conviction for going tongue and stealing, had a conviction for smoking marijuana. You know, I used to go to the seaman union because I wanted to be a seaman. And I tried so much days I used to go every day before I go in town and steal it. That was my first stop. I go to the seaman union and stand up with the big guys, begging them to let me steal as a little youngster, you know, and thing, but nobody then looking at me. So then the next step in the progression now is, well, you know, I then had a clean certificate of character. I then had no accreditation, no practical skills. So I generated to what was next, and that was with the bigger guys and start hanging till late, selling drugs, you know what I mean, hustling up Nelson Street, hustling some tourists, all them different kind of things like that. And then, you know what I mean, as the money start coming, start buckling down and trying all different kind of things to when I reach the stage that when I look at it, you know, when I look behind now, I wasn't looking up to them one no more now. Other men now was looking up to me, you know what I mean? Because through the dedication and the work that I put in, I become now like we were called the boss, you know, so that's it from there, you know, and then other things start to unfold. I start traveling, I start going to all the countries probably where you can find drugs, especially in the Caribbean, South America, Central America, the Caribbean, you know. I was doing these things on my own. I went to countries that I couldn't even speak the language, you know. I got my belt around my waist with some money in it, my shoes wherever I could, and just bare instinct and wait. I wasn't thinking about the day to come that I can go get out of it and all that because, you know what I mean, like it was bringing so much gains and I was living like, you know what I mean, things that I couldn't do. You know what I mean? I was like Biggie Smalls. One time I couldn't afford a drink, and then it was a time I was sipping something. You know what I mean? Like how you drink water. You know what I mean? The finer things in life was building houses, was owning buses, you know what I mean? I was like, you name it, I was out there, was doing it because of the money. You understand me? So I didn't have no game plan. But then after the system now get to realize that drugs become a commodity. You know what I mean? Just like how you were going to buy things in the supermarket, it become a commodity because it was something that the people was asking for. And the things that we didn't have it, we see the different changes in people, so we keep penetrating all the time. But within that, the system started to look at it and see that these guys making a lot of money and it's drugs and things that they're selling. They don't pay any taxes. They're looking nice, they're looking smart. So, you know what I mean? And in the people's eyes, everybody wanted to know who's this man. So all these things, as we met the people then decide, now we gotta get this man out of the road because look what he doing. Because my life now, I was never greedy, you know. I used to always be sharing, giving. I take care of my community. People come from far and wide all over and always want this and always want the next thing. I was always there to give them, right? So then, with saying that thing, they decide, no, well, you know what I mean? They met the former drug squad and I was target number one. You understand what I mean? So I had some serious battles between me and the drug squad, you know, because I was never a champ. And if them say A, I would always be able to say B, C. You understand what I mean? And through the money and thing, you know, like they know that I was capable of doing things, so they had to give me my respect. You understand what I mean? So within that, it still brought anger too. You know what I mean? So then I find that every 5 minutes, you know, like around, you know, the drug squad, kicking off the door, breaking off the paling, running behind me, doing all sorts of things. So that's when you reality checking out. But if you don't be careful, you're gone. You know, to when a time it happened like that, I got set up, you know what I mean? And I was convicted for 250 pounds of weed, do 2 years in jail. But the night when they put me in the van after, when they come for me and they put me in the van, they tell them there's reality here again now too, boss, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? There's time now to get really gold now, you can have some brass now again. You know what I mean? But me being the man is and the strength I had, it like, I know it was gonna be hard, but with a strong faith and whatever I always doing, you know what I mean? And people might tell themselves that people like me or people like we that live the life that we live don't believe in a God or we don't give praises to nothing or then we just survive. You know what I mean? But we can see the same thing about some people that we know too that inside the system. So I you know what I mean? I always tell myself, no, there's a God. You know, so I start praying and different things like that here, and I got bail and it was back out to business as usual, you know, and then it start the people in the society now that hated me and for who I is and the things that I was doing, start asking, oh, but this Rasta man again with the drugs, when they gonna do this case and you know what I mean? And then I had a trial. It was a cowboy trial because the way how it was set, it wasn't right, you know, and anyhow, the secure conviction and it was given 2 years. And I can say this here, as much as I didn't like education in end times, education was always the key. What the system was doing and still doing is miseducating a lot of people because we got common entrance. You do common entrance at 11 years old. And common entrance is primarily English and math. Now you got children that can't even get, combine the two, they can't even get 20 or 25%. So they go on to secondary school and you introduce them to 11 subjects. They can get 2 do. No, they get, how we expect them to get 11 do? So they get worse because the attention span is not that good. And the slow learners. Some people blossom late too. Because I see some people that wasn't learning and now these people great. You know what I mean? But some of them stay as they was because there wasn't no help. You know what I mean? Coming from broken homes. Because I would say 75% or 80% of the people in Barbados come from broken homes where there's no father. You know what I mean? The mom got to work to make everything right. You know what I mean? So she hardly got time for the children. And through the relationship between she and the father, you know, there's no brought up see for the children, you know what I mean? Everybody there to guide them on that. So they can learn majority of what they learn in the schools and on the streets. You know what I mean? So that's why it become like that there. With me, I always tell myself education is the key. So I start reading and start looking at all different kind of things, you know. Start to balance life. You know what I mean? And one of the things that I always did too is that I never look down. I always collect a nigga straight in the face. I don't talk about a white man at all, because I had some serious interactions with them in the international world out there. You know what I mean? And being the man that he is, I never look down. And I always know that I had them troubled. You know what I mean? Because they had to say, look, this is a different black man. I know I seen it in some of my church, and I got some children there that they're really witty with them talks and things called to hear me. And they know that I don't play the game. I don't play the more than and less than game. I just play life. You know what I mean? So if life brought me everything, I live that. And if life take away everything, I still gotta live that too. You understand what I mean? So in doing that, you know, I learn to survive. And I educate myself now to the stage now that I am here now. I could come to save some lives. I know that a lot of people can say, oh man, you do this and you do the next thing and you was this and you was this. But I was one in a million. You know what I mean? Majority of the men in my times around me no so wait for me to do everything. You know what I mean? I wasn't out there waiting saying, oh, waiting for the boy that can't give me nothing. It was me that was the boss. So if you look at it, how much men become the boss? You know what I mean? And how much men got a good heart that I share what they have? You know what I mean? I get men homes, getting cars, getting bikes, everything. Who doing that now? You understand what I mean? The majority of the thing that the guy know is a gun. You understand what I mean? And I always saw a time, if it's a man is a fool, he's a fool. So if you give a fool a gun, he's still a fool. You understand me? If you get a man for understanding these kind of things, he still don't have understanding, still lack understanding. But he knows what it is in his hand. He know that it can make you feel powerful. You understand what I mean? Or it can make you afraid. So the ones that are afraid would not use it, but the ones that feel powerful, they can end up using it. You understand? So I see a lot of men start showing off these guns all over the place, and it was like, what is system that run me down? You know what I mean? You mean it was only the full target? You mean after me the internet? You know what I mean? Till when I tell myself, well, you see these things, the way they see these things all in Jamaica, see these in South America, especially Colombia. You know what I mean? Where I see men with guns, I see men catching normal bus with guns and all them things, you know what I mean? And I went to places where that you got to pay your way out. Cause I come to deal with illegal stuff, so everything is paid right out. So we got resistance armies in the country. When they get to the country, they buy it cheap. I got to pay money to bring it down. Then when they get to the town, now I got to pay the system now that it could come and it could get to wherever I want it to go, then they can bring it home. You understand what I mean? So all of these is things that I see, right? And now, for my little country now, I see the men get these guns without, well, you know, I wouldn't like to say that without any training or anything, but they had them, you know what I mean? And instead of like saying, well, these things is instruments of death, and we are not into death, we will put these things one side, you know what I mean? Because for me right now, a gun for me right now is to defend my country. You understand what I mean? So ain't any need for me to take it out right now, because my country doing pretty okay right now. You know what I mean? Especially right now, we got a prime minister that People just cry she down. But look what she do. She being put you on the international market that everybody know was Barbados. She and Rihanna. You know what I mean? Everybody know was Barbados. But, you know, she gotta come home and she gotta deal with a country that she find in debt. She gotta try to get it out. You know what I mean? So we would always got things to say because the only thing we got going is tourism and taxes. In my life, I won't say that I don't have no regrets. I got a lot of regrets, you know, and still I got a million thanks for the way how he is right now too. Because if I didn't live that life, it can be here now to try to change the one that the one fall down and set it in things. Because what happened is now, I trying to reach out to the man that never make it like that. You understand what I mean? Trying to get a skill, try to fit into the system. Don't just be a hoster for people that don't care nothing but want to getting all the money and going on just getting one a gun. You know what I mean? Cause look what the gun doing now. The gun burying winner. You know what I mean? And it sent one to prison. Some men for a lack of proper prosecution or forensic evidence can get off of some of these murder cases. But karma's still out there waiting. And the ones that get convicted now, coming out to do 30 and 40 years. Now, when you do 30 or 40 years, when you come home, what you coming to do? There ain't nothing here for you. You went to jail when you got a little child or two that was 3 or 4 years old. When you come out now, them as adults. And you come now to tell them anything they don't want to hear you, because you know the first thing they can say, when we really needed you was in jail. And we was in jail for foolishness or a boss that didn't even take care of you, furthermore take care of me, you know? So your life done. So these are the kind of things that I would like to see finish. You know what I mean? Real men will know that. And if me and the man got taught, the next step in the progression is not murder. The next step in the progression is how we can handle it amicably, you know what I mean, without going to war. And I can bet you know that if my side of looking at things and how should do it in America, you know what I mean? It should always be the gun. You know, the bosses will come and sell up, throwing some boxing gloves for him, and throwing some for him in the fight. You know what I mean? Maybe best man win. You know what I mean? I mean, it done there too. You know what I mean? You can't do nothing else about it. You know what I mean? But we don't have people like that that's stepping up to do these kind of things. So that's why you see that up to now we can't get things. And like this year now, 2024, is a record for murders in Barbados. For what? You understand what I mean? What was it to be gained by it? You understand what I mean? The only thing that was be able to gain by it is that the ethnic groups that got all the money and targeting we, saying, yeah, divided the mess, divided can fall, and we can get richer. Because when we're fighting, these people going to the banks and borrowing when father money that they got saved and opening businesses and things with it. You understand what I mean? And all your mother and father could do with the little money to save that they got for the retirement, to take a little cruise or the nice house to make it last, the rain then pass that they could pass it on to winner. They're going to go and run and get to lawyers, catch taxi and go up to prison and bring the latest things, the latest clothes and everything. You know, so these are the things that I want one to look at. You know what I mean? I want some of these men in prison to come home or send home letters telling men, do not come out here, it's not nice. You know, I went to Glendale. Glendale is not a nice place. And Glendale, as far as I understand, was easy compared to what part these is now. My turnaround point was, I think my stint in Glendale prison was my turnaround point. I had a lot of time to think, you know what I mean? And then before that, you know what I mean, I didn't really had myself, you know what I mean? I was like, I never had no one to come and say, my man, bring some money and do so and so with it. And I tried a lot of things, you know, I tried to open this, tried to thing, but you know, it didn't really have no help. I had the smartness to make some money, but as far as turning it into business or turning it into legal something, you know what I mean, that was always my problem. But in prison now, a lot of things that I never did before, I had a chance to do. And that is look into myself, you know what I mean? And then decided, well, you know, you're getting up in age now, and what you really want to do in life, you know what I mean? But whilst talking to myself, you know what I mean, and talking to my creator, you know what I mean, I come to the conclusion that you're still a relatively strong man. And the same way that God has been good enough to you to bring you out of this, that you could go back home to your children, you could turn around and do something now that to survive again, because it's like the phoenix, you know, you could rise from the ashes. You understand what I mean? So I just tell myself, and plus that is with the children too, You know what I mean? I tell myself I didn't want the children to come and live the life that I live. You know what I mean? I gotta be sheltering them. Was they destroying other people? So I tell myself, if you don't want to destroy people, don't destroy. You don't want to destroy your own, don't destroy other people. So I tell myself, when I see me, I can look for something else to do in life. It was hard, you know what I mean? But through the years, through knowing people, and people always know me to be a fair and just man, a lot of doors open, enough closed. You know what I mean? And people I never thought there was closed doors on me, closed them. But you know what I mean? Thanks to God and other people that saw me and know what's going on, you know what I mean? I was able to survive. And this is one of the things now that where my passion now is to get to this, you know, we're trying to save some people. But one of the things that has made me laugh is that I could do these interviews, you know what I mean, try to help in every way that I could. But a lot of the people I trying to help, no part is still past me and don't speak. You can believe that I trying to speak out for men, to try to make them behave themselves and try to be better. That when they get little money, however the case is, to do something better with it than trying to kill one another and being disrespectful to one another. You know what I mean? And them spouses don't even speak. You know who's be shouting me about time? The people inside the system, even the same police. Good job, Bull. You know what I mean? I meet men working all over. Yeah, champ. Nice. Man, just pull up with cars and say, well, I know it's hard, but I like what you're doing, you know? And the thing that's hurt me now is that as I was telling you before, I should be here now with at least 20 more men. That all the things that I was thinking about and I would like to say in this one little space here, I should got other men here with me to say, don't remember, Bull, you said that, you can say this, you know what I mean? Because there's so much things I would like to say, since I would like to help to do, you know what I mean? Right now, I find myself, I gotta be like telling little children, man, when I come and get a little snack, get a little drink and go off the street, especially on nights. What I always say is that, you know what I mean, look to God and look within, you know, and always try to balance the scales of justice. The one side is right and the other side is wrong. So if you can tip the scales, tip them in what is right, because in your latter years, you can get to realize that right is more powerful than wrong. So in decisions that you have to make, don't just like make them without thinking. Think first, you know, sit back and see that it's not only affecting your own one, but it can be affecting your whole family. And you know, like try to do something different. You know what I mean? Walk away and then come back, you know, especially to all the young men out there that doing this shooting and thing, stop making decisions while your head hot. Walk away a little bit, you understand me? And see if it really worth it, you know what I mean? And then you will see that some more men can live, you know what I mean? And right now I'm tired hearing these sirens and I'm tired hearing certain people in the society gloating over these kind of things, because we got some people out here that just using these is like in Roman times, you know, them in the amphitheater and the audience, and that's how them living, you know, because their life dead. So to feel life now, them they're gloating over these kind of things. Always looking for who get killed, you know what I mean, who woman do this and who woman didn't do that, you know what I mean? And that's it. So think twice, brother, you know what I mean? Take a little walk and think twice.
Look, you have dark, and good and have evil.
Because it's a different generation, it's a different kind of stereotype generation.
I saw a lot of things at, I would say, trauma.
In the heat of the moment, the adrenaline, I had so much things, I had so much to lose at that time.
Time to change, man. Time to turn around. Time to turn around.